rounds, okay? Ironically, some people might say, well, that's a round, but it's not. This one is a sovereign coin. It has Superman on it, but it's a Canadian. It's considered a sovereign coin because it has a dollar value on it. $5. $5 Canadian. So this would be considered a maple leaf, even though it doesn't have the maple leaf. It also has the privy mark. So this would go with the sovereign coins, which means its resale value would be higher. Okay? So again, back to what I was saying earlier. I would start off with these, go to these. Bars are usually cheaper, but harder to sell. So here's a Scottsdale Mint bar. And this wasn't my first bar, but it was probably my first favorite bar. So Scottsdale Lion there. And then look, an Englehart bar. So this is in the same category as this. And these Englehart bars, I've seen them go for a pretty good penny, depending on the different styles they have. And of course, it's a little banged up. And it has a serial number there, but it's an Englehart. Then, and I'm going from highest to lowest price, if you haven't noticed that yet. Next bars would be 5-ounce bars. So here's a $5 or 5-ounce buffalo. I have a 1-ounce buffalo and now a 5-ounce, and I've been wanting to get the 10, but the price is just too much. So again, this is 5 ounces. So this equals 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ounces. So it's good if you want to buy bars, that's fine. And usually the bigger you get, the less premium you're paying. But if I need to buy something in the future with silver, how am I going to break this up? If they're charging me 1 ounce and this is all I have, either I have to buy 5 of them and waste it all, or it's better if you break it up, right? Have ounces. And we're going to get into more of that in a minute. Here's Money Metals. And I like purchasing from Money Metals, but again, this is not as recognizable. But it is 5 ounces of silver. Then we get into the Silvertone. Silvertone is also a good company. Kind of lines up there with Matthey and Englehart. So this would probably fetch a little bit more. A little bit more than these 5 ounce. Even though they're all 5 ounces of silver. Then we go into the 10 ounce, and I said I was going from the highest to the lowest, but actually now I'm starting to go back up. And if you could find a good deal on a 10 ounce bar, then I would definitely get it. The Nair is a good name brand as well. And they all have their own serial numbers. So if you can, but ironically, when I bought these, I want to say I paid about $340, $350 maybe for these bars a long time ago. Silver was lower, and today these bars are going for $700 to $800. So good investment, but I wasn't doing it for the investment. And I like having the 10 ounce bar, but that's about as far as I would go. I would not go any higher than 10 ounce because of the switching back, right? And we have another Johnson Matthey 10 ounce. So again, this bar will probably go for a little bit more. All right, so now, again, starting as a new stacker. I'm trying to get eagles, but if I can't, I'm trying to get a smaller silver. Here's 5 grams. 5 grams of silver. We got let's see, this is a half, I believe. Yep, 1/2 ounce, a 9 is a company, 9 mint. And it's a 1/2 ounce of silver. Say, God bless you. This, believe it or not, looks like it's small, but it's actually 1 ounce of silver. So this and this would probably be closer. Actually, let's see, where's my Scottsdale? These two are probably closer in price. They're both Scottsdale Mint. They're both the same weight, even though they're different shapes. This is a pour. This is considered a pour. Okay. Moving on, going smaller. Then, again, if I'm stacking, first time stacker, I'm probably getting smaller coins. This is half troy ounce. So, let's see, didn't I just have a half? What did I do with it? Yeah, this. So all these right here are half ounce. Half ounce. So together these are 1 ounce. So back to what I was saying earlier, if I needed to break up, if I needed to buy a loaf of bread for half an ounce, well, I can't break this, but I have some half ounces. Okay. Again, and this is what I would do now as a new stacker. I would start buying half ounce silver. The problem with that is, here's SD Bullion. This is, I believe it's Golden State Mint. No, this is Money Exchange. Money Metals Exchange is the mint that makes it. And this is a Scottsdale. Half ounce. Okay, so mints versus sovereigns. Again, all these rounds and stuff are from local mints. Then we get into smaller denominations, which is 1/10 ounce. And they sell so many different kinds. And this is the... I don't see the mint. This is 1/10 ounce, but I don't see the mint on it. But 1/10, there's a 1/10. And this one is a sovereign. It's a Mexican. Even though this one looks like the Walking Liberty, it's not a sovereign. Sorry. There you go. It's not a sovereign coin, but it's a 1/10. This one is, Mexico actually does make these. So it's a sovereign coin. Looks exactly like the Libertad. And they sell a really neat set from the, I believe it's from the 1/10 all the way to the ounce and everything in between. It's a little bit expensive, so let's see, there's another Libertad. Here's an Indian head. 1/10 ounce, and I don't see the mint on that one. But again, these are all considered rounds. There's another Libertad in here. I like this one. This one's looks like the Mercury dime, but it's a 1/10 ounce. Oh, this one is from American Precious Metals Exchange is the mint. Okay, so we went through that. Again, I'm just starting as a collector, so I want, if you could see here, the junk silver or the constitutional silver, which you saw one when I waited earlier, which is the Walking Liberty. And I had them in individual like these, but I found that putting them in these makes you want to fill your thing up. Yeah, if I can close it now. Makes you want to fill it, I noticed. So, like, I have my quarters filled. These are all junk silver. Here's some barber quarters. Still need a few to fill it, if you can see. Just very few, but almost there. I showed you the Walking Liberties. Here's Kennedy's, 64 or older. Guess what, silver? So they're 64, and I'm missing a few more, and I'll have that filled. Okay, here's some Franklin's. I'm missing a few to fill that. And I still have some others. Like, I have a whole bunch of dime ones that are filled. Here's Roosevelt and Mercury. And I have some other Mercury ones, 2 of them actually, that are about halfway. Why I haven't combined them, I don't know, but then I noticed this one still needs a few too, so I'm probably going to pull from those and fill it. Now, I don't know for sure. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to fill it to the top or if I'm going to count out and see what $5 face value is, kind of like a real roll. And then I'll probably, if I do that, I'm going to put something so that it doesn't move around and tape it up. This is the plan, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. Roosevelts, I prefer the Mercuries over the Roosevelts because they still make Roosevelts, and you have to look at the date, which, if you're like me, this comes in very, very handy. And I don't think the camera's going to pick it up very well, but it's 1962. But you can get a 1994 and it looks exactly the same, you know, but it doesn't look the same on the side. You have to look at the date. And that's why I like the Mercuries, because it's instantly recognizable and you know it's silver. Okay, and all these are 90% silver, by the way. Then of course we have our Morgans again, fill up. And I just started another one of the Morgans. and have my piece. I like the Morgans better than the piece dollars. This is the only tube of piece that I got, but I decided to put them in a tube so I could see what I had, and I'm gonna go ahead and start filling them. I did see, now keep in mind, these actually the Morgans, I saw some of them going for 80 plus, which is ridiculous, because if you have a choice between this or this, I would go with this. If the price is the same, go with the 1 ounce. That's what I would recommend. That's what I would do. However, if you're doing 90%, because silver is so expensive right now, then you're going to get better deals on this. And I don't even count my junk silver in my portfolio. I probably should, but I don't, because to me, this is a barter right here. This is what I'll be trading first, and then these are the next things I'll be trading, and then the sovereigns will be the last thing that I trade if I have to. But I saw this thing, and I don't know how many are in here, but I saw this thing online. Somebody was selling Morgans a roll of 20 for like $1,600. Wow, that really amazed me, that these are going for so much. But at the same time, they're melting these down, so eventually you're not going to be able to find these. There's still a lot out there, and you can find really good deals on the junk silver. I know right now, when I started buying these, when I started buying these dimes, I was paying like $2 per dime, and then they went up to about $4, and right now I think they're $5 or $6, which I got some for $5 at the gun show. So the price is going up. So the price going up in silver is reflecting in the junk silver. But I would still start stacking junk silver if I can't afford any of this stuff. My plan, again, now I was going to tell y'all earlier that my original plan is I would just buy 1 ounce here or there, whatever. That's when I first started. And again, I made a huge mistake, in my opinion, by buying this one. But I did it. It's too late. I didn't know. I learned. And since then that I have learned, I used to buy every paycheck, because I would buy online. Every paycheck I would spend $200, so I wouldn't have to pay shipping or whatever. And I was able to get, I want to say it was like, I know I did the math the other day, but I already forgot. But I want to say it was like it was like 8 coins I was able to get for 200. Today, you're going to get 2, maybe, for 200. Depending on what kind you get, you're probably likely going to get maybe one of these or something for that price. And what I would do to make the 200 is add some junk silver in there. Although a lot of the online companies are not carrying it much anymore. Some of them have, some of them don't, which leads me to my next thing. Copper. So I started doing this not too long ago. I want to say maybe, I don't know, right before they said they were doing away with pennies. So I'm glad I started when I did. But I started going through all my pennies, and I make rolls of 95% copper, which is 1982 or older. So I have several rolls of these, and then I have a whole bunch of rolls of just regular pennies. But I think it's funny because pennies, I saw somebody selling a roll of pennies. I typically can still go to the bank and get a roll for that price, okay? But I saw somebody selling them online for, I think it was like $300 or something. Yeah, I ain't paying that. Let's see. I had some other pennies here, and I don't see what I did with them. I wanted to show you all the 2026 penny I found while I was going through the rolls, but I don't see it. So I made, going back to, oh, here they are. Okay. So here is, let's see, there's a 2024. And it looks pretty nice. I mean, it looks, for a 2024, it looks pretty new. Here's a 2025. And this one I found with the last rolls. And this one actually looks pretty nice too. But this is the one I was talking about on my last video. This is a 2025. And I don't know if the camera's doing it any justice, but it looks so, like if somebody scraped it, but it doesn't have any scratches. And then to me it looks thinner, but I guess it's not. There's two 2025s. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Because that's it on the pennies. However, again, if you find 82 or older, that's 95% copper. Copper is starting to go up slowly. Here is a wheat penny, and the reason they call it a wheat penny is because you see how it has the wheat on the sides, versus these have that, I forget what that building's called. Anyway, so there's a difference on those. These have a little more value. So you got wheat pennies that are copper. So here's another wheat penny. It's 1950. We got a steel penny, which was during the war, 1943. This one is not in good condition. I mean, it's pretty scraped up, but it's still a steel penny. So then I also got some large pennies. And these are, or I should say cents, because they're actually cents. So there's 1 cent. These are nice. That's 1853. And this one, I cannot tell. Well, this one's Canadian, that's why. 1859. So 1859 and 1853. American and Canadian. 1 cent. Then we got some Indian head pennies. I really like these. And these, I think, they're going for like about $5 online right now each. I would not recommend that. So something I did a while back is I started buying copper rounds, and I paid like $1.99 for them. And I got some, I didn't bring them out, but I have some that look like the regular pennies. Like they look like this, but they're this big. So the reason I say I wouldn't recommend it, I just got them because I like them, but paying $2 for 1 ounce, there's 16 ounces in a pound, and a pound is going for $5. So, it wasn't very smart of me, but I wanted to do it, so I did it. So I got that. Then at the last gun show, I bought 2 of these, 500 grams. The Geigers, I like the Geigers. Here's a 5-gram Geiger. 5-gram silver Geiger, and here's a 500-gram copper Geiger, certified. And again, I probably overpaid for this, but I have a feeling copper is going to go up, and that's why I'm saving the cents. So again, I probably would not do the copper unless I'm doing it like this, where I'm not losing anything. If I'm buying 50 cents worth of pennies and I find 2 or 3 in that roll of copper, I put them aside. You know, I'm not wasting. I'm not losing. If I buy them online, I'm going to spend an arm and a leg for them. So this is probably the best way to get copper. Let's see. So the next thing, again, you see I bought a 1/10. Probably ain't going to buy a 1/10 again for a while, because gold is going up, but we can buy grams. So a gram is going for about 165 right now, which, remember I told you online about the 200 limit or whatever, or 200 so you don't have to pay shipping. So that's a gram right there. That's a gram right there. I actually got this one at a pawn shop, and I want to say I paid 100, maybe 120, and of course I took it straight to the coin shop, and they did the Sigma test and determined it was real. So grams is probably the way I'll be going for a while with gold. There's another gram. Here's a gram that's not in a container. This one I also bought at a pawn shop. This one was in a bezel. It was in the jewelry side, but I knew what it was as soon as I saw it. And I want to say they were selling it as jewelry, so I paid less than what the gram was worth. And I took it out of the bezel, but I took the bezel with me to the coin shop, and they tested this and the bezel. The bezel, I believe, I think he said it was 18 karat gold. So I have the bezel with 18 karat gold and the gram, and I paid less than the price of the gram. So that was a good deal. Here's another Geiger. This is the same company, and this is a 1 gram. So the difference between all these is this is probably going to be your cheapest way to go. Even though this is Credit Suisse, it's still probably the cheapest because it's not in a packaging like these. You're paying more for the packaging. So, and then of course you're paying a lot more for this packaging. I want to say these right now, and I did not pay that, but these right now I think are going for like $183 or $186. The last time I checked. Again, I bought this years ago. I definitely did not pay that, thank God. So, if you are going to go into gold, there's other options. You can go gold backs. These do have gold in them. Let's see if I can put them in order. 10, 25, okay. So, all these I bought a long time ago with the exception of this one and this one. So these two I'm still upside down on. It's 1/2000th ounce of gold. It's a 1/2 gold back. This one is 1/1000th of a gold. This, I want to say I paid $8 for it, and it's worth like $6 or something like that. This, I don't want to say how much I paid for it, but I bought it at a gun show. I just liked the way it looked. It tells you all the stuff about it. I looked it up online. What I paid for it at the gun show is what they are selling them for online. However, this is 1/1000 and this is 1/1000. Okay, well, I'll tell you for comparison. This is the same amount of gold. This I paid $35, unfortunately. This I paid $8. So, same amount of gold. Yeah, that probably wasn't a good decision on my part, but I liked it, so I got it. All these others I did. Oh well, yeah, the Florida I paid more. I paid like $8, maybe $10 for this one, and it's a 1/500th ounce of gold. And then these, like I said, I bought them a long time ago. So we got our Nevada 1/200th. We got our $10 1/100th, and then we got our $5. Oh, I already said that one. We got our $25 140, and I want to say these right now are going for like I think $400 or something. It's a ridiculous price, and it doesn't have the date on it when I purchased it. But if you look at this back, oh, you can't see it. With a black light, this one's the newer one that I bought. Oh, there it is, 2025. This is 2023. They started doing where you would shine a black light on it and it'll show you GB. It's a protection. So they're doing that on all their go backs now. These are older. I paid less, a lot less, and they're worth a lot more. And what I like about the go backs is they're all interchangeable. So if I have, 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, if I have 5 of these, it equals the same as this. So they're interchangeable like that. If I have 2 of these, $10, and 1 of these, it's the same as this. If I have 2 of these, I have 50, you know. There's a calculator online that helps you break down whenever you purchase, and there are companies that do the exchange. Go-backs is probably the cheapest way to get gold. However, you're paying a higher premium. So if I had, let's see, this is 1/40th ounce. So if I have 40 of these, I have 1 ounce of gold. However, the price of 1 ounce of gold versus buying 40 of these, I'm paying more. Okay, so this is not, I would not recommend this for stacking, but I would say if you want to have gold in your portfolio and you can't afford to buy, I can't afford to buy an ounce, but these are affordable. Okay, let's see, what else do I want to show you? So then I want to show you some stuff that I would not buy today. So I showed you my first buy, and I'm no longer upside down on it because the price of silver went up. On this one, I am upside down because the price I paid versus the price it's worth are 2 very different things. They only made a limited amount of these, and I got it because I liked it. There's really no other reason. It's Queen Elizabeth. And it's, I believe it's 1 ounce. Or is it 2? No, 1 ounce of silver. And it's a memorial coin for her passing. And in the little booklet, it'll tell you that it has a little bit of gold in it, like actual gold. But still, even with that, it's not, I'm still upside down on this. But I bought it knowing that it was a collectible. I would not buy collectibles now, especially as a new stacker. I would not buy collectibles because you're paying a lot for the premium, but you're not getting the value of the silver. If I resell this, this is going to be the worst, about as much as this. But again, I paid probably the price of 2 of these for it. So I would not do this again, but today. But I did it then because it was a collectible and she passed away and I wanted it. I also bought this one of her as a collectible. Now this one, thank God, I didn't pay as much for it, but I've already made my money back, actually double. So it shows her birth, her death, 70 years. This is a Cayman Islands coin, but it's also a collectible. Wouldn't buy this today, but I'm okay with it. And then finally, this one is a 2-ounce silver coin. And it's the beast, well, it tells you right here, the Royal Tudor Beast, the Lion of England. So it has the lion. I don't know how good you could see that. And this is when the year that she passed away, and it's 5 pounds. It's a 2-ounce coin, so it's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier. 4 9s silver. And this one actually I'm ahead on. Yeah, I came out good on this one. Now, now that silver's gone up. And then the last thing I'm going to show you, and I know where the last 3 things I have. Here's some 2-ounce rounds. Both of these 2-ounce rounds. It's Golden State Mint. So basically these, the value of this is the same as, you know, 2 of these, I guess. 2 regular rounds. So 2 of these equals 1 of these, okay? As far as resale value goes. And then finally, this is probably my favorite coin that I have. And I used to have it on as my picture on Facebook. It sees the day. You only live once. It's a 2-ounce. Obviously got it from Ampix. This coin today, if I was to buy it, it's like double what I paid for it. So the resale's probably pretty good on this one, but it's my favorite coin. I probably won't part with this one. So I feel like I talked too much. This video is way too long. Hopefully you stayed until the end. But so again, just to reiterate, if I was to start stacking today, I would try my best to get at least one of these a month or every 2 weeks, or whatever financial bracket you're in, whatever you can do. Don't get into debt. But I would try to buy a walking American Eagle. I would try to buy at least one as often as I could. Then I would probably stick to the Buffaloes because they're easier to resell. Then I would do junk silver. So if you're buying online and they have a $200 spending, I would, right now, with the price of silver right now, these are probably going for like 95, 96. So that would be the 200 right there, and maybe a dime would put you a little over, but you wouldn't have to pay the sales tax. This is, the prices of a 1/10 ounce is about 400 and something. The price of a 120 ounce, which they do not sell on American Eagle 120 ounce, but they do sell Libertad's 120 ounce of gold. And I believe Canadians have the 120 ounce as well. Those go for like 200 and something right now. Now, again, the prices keep on fluctuating, so I would do it at your best. The reason I'm trying to concentrate on gold, obviously fractional gold, and I'm probably going to stick to buying grams. But the reason I'm doing that is because the ratio is so low. I told you earlier it was 52. So this is my plan now. It may be different than yours, but my plan now, before silver went up, I would buy $200 of silver every paycheck. And I got paid every 2 weeks. So every paycheck I spent to buy at least $200 worth of silver, unless I went to a gun show or I went to my local coin shop where I could buy more for the same price than I would not buy online. You just have to shop around, do your best. That was my original plan. But now that silver's going up, I'm probably going to teeter-totter, going back and forth, trying to find the good deals. If I find a good deal, I'll buy the silver. If I don't, then I'm going to buy probably grams of gold. And definitely junk silver. I'm going to concentrate on junk silver. I have no intention of buying any more copper, but this is the only way that I'll do copper. Okay? Definitely stay away from slabbed because the premiums are a lot higher. The resale value should be pretty good unless we go through a situation where we do have to barter. Then this is going to be the same as this, is going to be the same as this, is going to be the same as, this. They're all going to be the same. Silver is going to be silver. Nobody's going to care how much you paid, or the sovereign, if it's a sovereign or not. But as of right now, that's the way I would do it. And again, everybody's different. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you what I would do. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'm sorry that it went so long, but I will say this: get right with God, get out of debt, and buy silver and gold if you can. Go home and read your Bible. God bless.